going to look at one little manipulation that I've added to this. Now keep in mind, we're just talking the rigor position where we have now effectively collapsed that frame in, collapsed all the structure in. Now we're going to start talking about our grip progressions and where we want to start working our grips and hands at. So we get into here, okay? We've got some places that are acceptable to put our grips, okay? Now, depending on what he does here, he may chase with this leg up underneath when I straighten everything out. He may not. But one thing that I've noticed is happening to a lot of us, when we start to, we're getting really, really good at displacing our weight and weighing on this person, but we're not putting enough weight, and we do it from right here. And the first thing I see, the mistake I see a lot, is people stand up and then they want to step over and then they want to drop this leg in, and what happens is that results in a very, very high rigor position. Whereas before, if we're just playing right here and we're just up on our knees, what we want to do first is we want to drive our hips in first, and then we're just going to simply sprawl the leg out. Okay? So instead of coming up high over the top of them and then sprawling out, we want to stay down here close and invite this either high or low knee shield. It doesn't really matter where he puts it. Right now he's forcing me to an overback position because it's the fastest place for me to grip. Supplementary grips are right here. You want to come up over the top and lock this grip in right here, and we also have this grip as well. So any one of the three is okay. Okay? They all can serve different purposes, and we're going to start talking about this grip here in just a second. Okay? So let's say I just manipulate and go to here. Now I'm riding this bottom side leg, and he may be working like a half, whatever. Riding this bottom side leg, I'm just going to slide my right leg back. Hip's going to go right into the tailbone. Boom. So now his frame's compressed. He's carrying all this weight, and I can start trying to drive my chest and my head up through that high side shoulder. We're doing a lot of punishment right here. Okay? So the question becomes now, what are our main options? What are we looking for? All right? So I wrote down here that our main options is especially if we're talking about rigor position, is trying to force half. It's one of the first things we want to do. So we'll talk about forcing the half guard, how we get there, and what's our natural grip progression. So we talked about overback. We talked about cupping the thigh, coming up to the head. There's another little auxiliary grip we can use right here. As long as we're using our weight appropriately, we're very, very safe to get right here and come into the top of the foot. So because he's carrying this high side knee shield, all right, we'll talk about low side here in just a second. He's framing out high. We got a couple of options. I can spring up and I can come into the biter position. So if I'm here and he's high framing and he's pushing their weight a long distance, I can pop up and I can come up and over to the biter position, and we can work on phase two. Very, very important for you to know that these two passing sequences are completely different. They're not necessarily meant to be used this one first, this one second, or this one second, this one first. They're totally separate. There's the triggers, however. If you understand the triggers, they'll cause you to go from one to the other. Okay, so right now, we're talking about, we're kind of in long range, but I told you it's predicated on what? Compression, collapse. So once we collapse this in, and he's no longer effective at pushing us away, now we've gotten to rigor position. The next advanced position we want to force is half guard, top side half. So if he's framing me away and he's got a really, really good solid knee shield, and I feel like this is not effective, and I see us do this a lot. We get to here and we make them, we think, well, we're riding on it. They're carrying our weight. No, he's got a good solid frame here. He's knee to elbow. He's forced me out to long range. This is not effective. What we have to do here is to get inside this, and this is where his biter's going to come in a minute. I'm here, boom. Head is down, and now if he wants to save that knee shield, he's going to have to bring it back inside, and I'm going to make him carry my weight until he gets so tired that he does something stupid, and that's generally going to be compresses all this down. Once it compresses, then we can drop that leg and we can go to the rigor position. Whereas I think a lot of people have understood all along that it's mostly the first position we work with. Okay? It is, but you have to understand what causes it. So once this collapses, we've got this collapse, I'm pulling up on this leg, keeping it trapped. Now he's stuck here. I can work back and forth to here. Now I want to force this top side half. Okay? But I need to get this knee to a proper position before I can effectively do it. And I'm going to kind of be carrying the weight here, staying up over this high side shoulder. Like I'm trying to get my chin above his shoulder. all right? Many of the times we look down, what happens when we look down, our ass has a tendency to do what?
Oh.
You look down. Keep your chin up and projecting out past, try to poke your chin out. It has a tendency to drop your ass in and lock your back. So we want to go here, boom. Trying to project my chin out past his shoulder. Then I'm going to come into this backside grip on this leg right here. Now I've got this, and I can duck my shoulder inside, and I shred inside, and now I'm good to go. Now the leg's going to come inside. I'm going to dominate that hip pocket, which is one of the premier positions we need to do. If I want to use topside half, I can. Secure my near side underhook. Now we're passing from a chest to chest mount, or chest to chest half to mount. Okay. So looking back at some of the notes I have here of where we mess up is diving the head to the shoulder and flattening our opponent. Okay. We don't do that very much. The problem becomes, where's our grip? Okay. So if I'm here, this hand kind of we get stuck with what to do with it. We got a couple of choices. I can either come back on this and I can push down on his leg, and I can duck my knee inside and force myself inside, or from here, I can bring my elbow inside and punch in and bring my knee inside and wallow myself in. Okay? It's easy enough. If we're in rigor and he's kind of projecting me off to the side a little bit, I can project over to the top. I'm going to violently shoot my head to this side, partially rotate my hips, elbows come inside, and I win. If I'm to tell you which one is my 90%, this is the one, right here. 90% of the time it works all the time, okay? Because I'm here, this is locked down, I'm lifting up on this knee, I'm projecting my head up over the top, he's good and compressed, I'm gonna partially rotate my hips, and how this happens is it's a twist on my feet. So I'm here, okay, projecting, partial hip rotation, boom. Head shucks to the other side, elbow comes inside. Now I'm gonna punch to my near side underhook, far side underhook. If we're here, we're looking at our tripod series from here. Okay, let's work on that. This is gonna be shooting the head to the far side, forcing the top side half.